I went from this to this in a little less than 9 months. Stick around to find out how. Hello everyone, semi-retired Bob here. I talk about the carnivore diet, all things related to the carnivore diet, and some miscellaneous odds and ends. Today we're going to talk about a couple of different subjects. My main topic today came up in Ready Set Keto's live stream last night. We're going to talk a little bit about community. But first, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Sorry, I just took care of some stuff here at the church and my mind's a little scattered still. But yeah, welcome to the new people. I'm glad you're here. You may be wondering, what in the world are we watching here, Bob? Well, you're watching me walk. I know that doesn't seem particularly exciting, but when you consider that I started the carnivore diet less than 9 months ago, and at that time I could not stand for more than 2 to 2.5 minutes without severe pain, and now I'm out here walking every day. Not just walking, but in general, I average between 5 and 6 miles a day. Some days a little less, depending on how I feel, but about 5 miles is my target for every day. And then I get out on the trail with a loaded backpack and do a lot of that too. As you can see, I got my heavy blue coat on and my hat. Hopefully after a couple of laps I'll be able to take the hat off. It's just, it's not quite 50 degrees out yet. And I've been cold. I know that sounds odd. Somebody that lives in Omaha has lived there since 1990. Now I'm down here in North Carolina for the winter. Talk about 50 degrees being cold when after the snowstorm moves through this afternoon into tomorrow there in Omaha, they're supposed to drop into the single digits for a week or so. So in relative terms, it's not cold here. But because I've lost 130 pounds of padding, I get cold a lot easier. I'm told that over time my body will readjust and I'll learn to regulate my temperature a little better again. But also as we age, some of that doesn't work as well as it used to as well. And we're coming up on my 60th birthday here. So the primary purpose of all this is to show you that it's never too late to change your life. And while I'm out here walking, I want to say thank you to all the people that are subscribed, returning viewers, everyone else. It's been a really good couple of days with the channel. And that makes me extremely happy. Because, as a retired guy on a fixed income, a few extra subscribers translates to a few extra cents on the ad revenue. Believe me, it's not very much, but every little bit helps when you're on a fixed income, especially with inflation going the way it is. But anyway, you see me out here walking, and I know for a fact it was Coach Bronson that said this originally, and I want to repeat it for you here again today because I think it's important enough. Because, we talk about exercise quite a bit. And while it's not specifically necessary just to lose weight or lose fat, as the case may be, because, when we talk about losing weight, what we're really talking about is losing fat. Because nobody says, oh, I don't have much muscle, but if I could lose a little more of that, I'd weigh a lot less. Or, they don't say, my bones are what's really making me heavy, so I want to do things to make my bones less dense so I don't weigh so much. Nobody ever says that. So what we're really talking about when we say lose weight, we're talking about losing fat. And while exercise is not strictly required, because if it was, I would have never lost a pound. That first 4 months, I forget exactly how much I'd lost by September the 1st when I started this walking challenge. If I recall right, it was somewhere in the 65 to 75 pound range. And I didn't exercise at all because I couldn't. Remember, I could barely stand up. But once you have recovered enough that you're able to do some movement, exercise will increase your quality of life. Every little bit you get stronger, every little movement you can now do by stretching that you couldn't do the day before, increases your quality of life. But it is not strictly required for losing weight. But the thing that Coach Bronson says that I wanted to repeat today, that is, I think, one of the most important things we need to learn. Exercise is not a punishment for what you ate. Exercise is a celebration of what the body can do. And that's so important to keep in mind. Because while I certainly don't celebrate every day, every step I take, I do sort of, but it's not like I'm party, woohoo, I'm out here walking. Although I should be. I should be that excited about it. This brings me into the discussion about community that we had. Ready, Set, Keto moved their live stream to Thursday. For those of you that aren't up to date, in case you missed it, because you're not going to see this till Sunday, but if you missed all the shenanigans late this week, Ready, Set, Keto moved their live stream to Thursday night, just before Joe and Rachel, Two Crazy Ketos. And now, Jackie's Jinxed Journey, which was kind of running next to me, is going to move into that Ready, Set, Keto time slot immediately after me. So hopefully that will let more people watch more live streams if they want to. But Ready, Set, Keto did it because he was talking about hockey games and all the other stuff that he likes to go do with his son. It's all on Friday nights. They were looking at the calendar moving forward, and they were going to have to miss more than they were on. So they've moved their live stream to Thursday, which makes perfect sense. The whole reason you get healthier is to be able to go do more stuff. And I can't think of a better go do more stuff thing than taking your son to a hockey game. Except, maybe a football game. Football is much better, but that's pretty much over for the year. I mean, yeah, there's still some NFL stuff going on, but college football is where it's at. But anyway, they were talking about community. And he made a comment in passing that really struck a nerve with me. Made me really think about it. And he's absolutely right. And I'm going to translate it into where my brain went when I heard the comment. He said, I don't remember exactly what he said, but what it made me think of is, because I have you guys out there watching my walking videos, that keeps me accountable. You're my community. And because I never know who's going to tune in next to watch one of my videos, I never know who today's video is going to help. It keeps me motivated to keep me going. Because if things had never taken off and I was still sitting somewhere between 25 and 50, maybe 75 subscribers, it would have been very easy for me to say, well, I walked a lot yesterday. I'm kind of tired today. I'm not going to go do today's walk. And then skipping once, it's then very easy to justify skipping again and again, to where I'm back to sitting on the couch doing nothing. Or in somebody else's case, not necessarily walking, but eating this lifestyle. You think, man, one little donut's not going to kill me. Or that slice of pizza or whatever it is. And if you're a moderator, like I am not, and you can get away with eating a slice of pizza, and then, it has no ill effects on your sugar cravings, and it doesn't do any bad things to your gut, but then you can jump right back in with your carnivore diet, then I don't think there's anything wrong with that. The problem is, for most of us who have been carb addicted for so long, that one slice of pizza then turns into, well, that was pretty good. Maybe I'll just have another slice. Or that popcorn smells pretty good. I think I'll have a few handfuls of popcorn. And before you know it, you've eaten the whole bag. And all of that is a slippery slope that leads to falling right back in to the lifestyle choices that made us sick in the first place. So, you guys keep me accountable. Hopefully I keep you guys accountable. We're all a community together. If you want a little more accountability, I've got a Facebook group. It's absolutely free. Semi-Retired Bob. Go check it out. There's a lot of smart people in there. And you can maybe find an accountability partner or two. if you want a little more one-on-one contact, I've got a live stream every Friday. Or for just a few dollars a month, if you'd like to support the channel, just a few dollars a month, you can become a channel member here. We haven't done much with that, but I did do the first Zoom call last week. And I'm going to try to get one done early in February. I'll have to look at the calendar and see what works. I did one in the evening last time. Maybe I'll try to do one earlier in the morning. See if that lets a couple of the other people attend. I'll just have to play with it for a few months and see where the majority of the people that are current members can show up. But I was listening to, I want to say it was a Dr. Chafee video, but to be honest, I don't really remember now. Like I said, I watch so much stuff, primarily while I'm waiting for my videos to upload, because the connection out here is slow but very stable. Like last night's video, the one that you'll see on Saturday, it took 3.5 hours to upload it, but it never paused or timed out or anything, so it kept right on uploading. It just took a long time. So that's when I watched a lot of my YouTube videos. But anyway, I was watching Dr. Chafee, and at least I think it was him. And they got into talking about the food pyramid. And, I'm not going to jump all over the people that led to it. But the proof is in the pictures. Once we instituted the food pyramid with, 5 to 7 servings of fruits and vegetables and 4 to 6 servings of grain, and just a little bit of meat, a little bit of dairy. I mean, the proof is in the pictures. Look at pictures. It doesn't even have to be beach pictures. Just look up old pictures online from the 50s, 60s, early 70s, before the food pyramid and the U.S. government got involved in making recommendations on what we should eat and how we should eat it and when we should eat it. Take a look at the pictures before and then take a look at the pictures after. You'll see a steady progression of this country getting fatter and fatter and fatter. They had a graph that I couldn't see because I was laying in bed with my eyes closed just listening to it, but I could imagine it because they had a map of the United States, and pre-food pyramid there were only a couple of states that were colored in with a little bit of color, because there were a couple of states that had more than 5% of the population was obese. And then as you moved forward year after year, more states got color and more states got more and more color. To the point where now, and I have no idea when the video was made, so it's probably a little bit old, within a couple, 3-4 years. But now there are states out there, many of them, where more than half of the population are obese. You know, I've talked before on this channel about, you know, using the 5 markers of metabolic syndrome, that it was something like 85% of the United States has at least one marker of metabolic syndrome, which means 85% of the country is not healthy in some way. And then if you pull out the old charts that were used when I went in the Army back in '81, of that remaining 15%, about another 85% of those people would be considered weak or frail and not be able to get into the military on the 1981 standards. That doesn't leave a lot of people. Okay, I'm going to take my hat off here. That doesn't leave a lot of people that are considered healthy by Army standards of 1981. So what in the world are we doing as a country? I mean, it should be very obvious. And I know somebody out there is going to come jumping in the comments and say, oh, but longevity's so much better today than it was 50 years ago. And they're going to be right. Except it's not the diet that's making them live longer. It's antibiotics. Infections used to kill a lot more people than they do now. Zip the jacket just a little bit. But yeah, it's not the diet. And I've touched on this several times. Let's just say the people at the opposite end of the spectrum from carnivore, because they don't know what supplements they absolutely have to have. Because remember, all the true good influencers on that end of the spectrum, they show you a handful of supplements you got to take every day. And those get expensive. So for whatever reason, people stop taking them and think, well, this diet's healthy. It'll keep me going just fine. 85% of the people that do that diet quit sometime in the first 5 years. And the primary reason that is stated for that quitting is catastrophic health failure of some kind. So while I do like those people, I think they're on the right track. In thinking about their diet, wanting to eat better, wanting to eat whole foods, natural foods, as they see them as natural. but they're just not quite there yet. Because there was no GNC or Amazon Health to order stuff from. Not even 100 years ago, let alone a few thousand years ago. So that should tell you what diet is probably best for us. Now, it's on an individual basis, case by case. Not everybody's the same. I've always said that. But it's somewhere in the proper human diet spectrum is where every human will fall. And you just need to figure that out for yourself to see where you land. There are some people, especially when you first start, you got to take a little something while your body adjusts. Primarily it's electrolytes. For people with thyroid issues, maybe some iodine drops. But you certainly don't need to go out and buy all these supplements people are trying to sell you, that if you take their recommended amount, you end up spending a couple of $100 a month on those supplements. You don't need any of that stuff. My primary supplement is beef and the muscle meat of beef and its associated fats. Yeah, and in case you didn't catch what I was doing in that video that you saw yesterday, that roast ended up being amazing. My roasts have always mostly come out fairly tender, doing them in the oven the way I've been doing them and then hitting them with the broiler. But salting it and then wrapping it completely up in aluminum foil and baking it longer on a lower temperature and then turning on the broiler, uncovering it, searing it up around the edges. So tender, so good. Probably the best roast I've ever had. But I say that just about every time I eat a roast because I like roast. It's got lots of fat, lots of good flavor. But anyway, if you haven't seen those pictures, go ahead and go back to yesterday's video and watch just the tail end of it. But as usual, I've been out here running on at the mouth for way too long. I will have some thoughts for you at the end of the video. If you're not into the music section, go ahead and fast forward to where I start talking again. Other than that, sit back, relax, and enjoy the music I've picked out for today. Cue the music. Okay, cut the music. Thank you. I cut it off with just one lap of music today because I was still hurting this morning. Some of it from the rain a couple of days ago. Some of it from walking a pretty good ways yesterday. And I didn't quite get square into my position that I sleep in on my back. I think I was slightly turned on my side, and that always makes my back hurt a little bit. So I wanted to get out here and get some walking in, because that did loosen things up. I feel a lot better, but I'm starting to get tired. And as I've always tried to preach to you, listen to your body. I know we want to get 1% better every day, but some days you just got to back off just a little bit and take it kind of easy. And I'm still pushing forward, trying to get a bunch of videos made here, or at least stay ahead of schedule. So I have no idea what the rain's going to do next week. Right now, it looks like 70 to 80% chance over 3 days, starting on Wednesday or so. So I want to make sure I stay ahead so that if I end up having to get rained out, or if I get rained out because it's raining and things start to hurt, I can take it easy for a couple of days and let the videos catch up to themselves. So we'll see how that goes. So just remember, listen to your body. Yes, 1% better every day is a great idea. But if your body's hurting a little bit, maybe you read a couple extra chapters in a book, or you watch an extra YouTube video on how to do something. You can still be 1% better, as I talked about several times. You don't have to get 1% better with your workout. Not every day. As long as you're doing something more than you did yesterday, whether it be reading or writing a letter to a friend or just calling somebody and talking to them for a little bit, you have moved forward. You have not stalled today because you did something more today than you did yesterday. But that's what I've got for you today, folks. Have a great day. Don't forget to get out there. Be 1% better. I will see you tomorrow.